I suppose not. If he were, I'd say send more bedpans, Lord.
Can't get around it, Florence. God is in charge, not you.
Time for rounds.
They love you, you know. Those soldiers.
Then I'm most blessed. Spring came, and so did the government inspectors, sent out after Sidney Herbert spoke to the right people. And gradually we began to have something that looked more like a real hospital, staffed by nurses who were disciplined and professional. But those poor fellows who died in front of our eyes that first winter, they will not let me rest until I tell the world of all they suffered. Who is it?
Dr. Farr.
Just a moment. The wonderful Dr. Farr, a member of my unofficial war cabinet. He brings me such charming gifts, sets of figures, all neatly tabulated.
Pardon me, do I intrude?
No, Dr. Farr, come in.
No work today, Miss Nightingale?
Yes, of course, I have to go out, but I'll be back in an hour. What have you got for me?
Some very interesting comparative death rates.
Excellent. Will you write up a praise for me, Dr. Farr? We'll look it over when I get back. Meanwhile, you can wish me luck.
Luck? Why? Where are you going?
Into battle. I know what you're thinking. Here comes that bothering woman again.
Oh, no, not at all. A delightful interlude in my all-too humdrum day.
Then, like all good interludes, I shall be brief. I come on behalf of the Crimean dead.
Ah, yes, the Royal Commission.
Which still has not met and has not even received your signature, Prime Minister.
Indeed, yes. Well, you must understand there are... How shall I put it?
I know, susceptibilities. Tell me, my lord, in all candour, do you mean to shelve it?
Shelve it?
To silence me, to shut me up?
Miss Nightingale, you must understand that this is the start of the grouse shooting season.
Yes, of course, those poor birds.
The point is, my dear, that all the important people are leaving town.
I understand. Then, perhaps with so many people at leisure now would be a good time to publish my own narrative of the Crimean campaign?
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we agreed your report would be confidential.
Indeed we did. And once it is fully commissioned and I hand it over to you, it will be. Until that happy moment, I believe I have complete liberty. And Mr. Russell of the Times has already expressed such an interest in a first-hand account of my Crimean experiences. Good day, my lord.
How in the battle?
I think we won.
Brilliant. By the way, you might want to look at my précis. The mortality rates in each regiment relative to the percentage.
Let me see.
Are you sure you're not too tired?
I'm never tired when I see a column of numbers. Are you sure these figures are correct?
Yes, of course.
Then we must go over them, every single one. Pass me that book and the figures you gave me yesterday. So there's no doubt.
Statistics tell us facts, not who is to blame for them.
I am to blame.
No, I'm sure you did your best.
It was not enough.
Dr. Farr. Florence. My dear young girl, do you realise what you just did? The papers for the Royal Commission will be signed tomorrow. I have it on the best authority. Well done, Flo. And guess who will be chairman? What? What?
My poor man, who endured so patiently. I've been such a bad mother to you. God. God. Why have you forsaken me?
Flo?
Guilty? How can you say that?
Because I am guilty as charged.
Nonsense, my dear. There's absolutely no proof.
No proof. Scutari, last January, mortality from disease, 576 per thousand. At the front, same 4 weeks, mortality from disease, only 17 per thousand. But Scutari, a 25% greater chance of death from diseases of the stomach and bowels.
Flo, please, these are just figures.
Just figures. I murdered those men.
Come. Everybody knows you saved lives. All that soup you made, all the knives and forks you procured.
Forks. That first winter, a nurse came to me and said, there are some beds the men won't lie in. They call them bad luck beds. Whoever goes to sleep in them doesn't wake up again. Nonsense, I said. Wash the sheets, dress the wounds, feed the men and they'll get better. It turned out they were right. The whole hospital was built over a lake of sewage.
Which, of course, was then cleaned out.
Too late.
Why?
Me. Ignorance. Exhaustion from my fights with doctors. Arrogance. I was God's own handmaid, wasn't I? So of course I knew best.
But you had absolutely no authority.
No, but I had Sidney Herbert in London at the centre of power. I wrote to him every week, and not once did I ask for help with sanitation. I asked for pillows. It took a government commission 4 months later to flush out the sewers. Do you know what they found when they dug out the channel that brought us our drinking water? A dead horse. And all the time I was saying, send your patients here, we'll take care of them, we're professionals, we're nurses. They should never have listened to me. They should have stayed away. Oh, my poor children.
It's over. You did your duty. Nothing more to be done now.
Yes, there is.
What?
Tell the truth. If that means I'm to be crucified with other murderers like Sir John Hall on either side of me, well, isn't that the traditional way?
And what exactly will that achieve? Flo!
Flo, please, child, think carefully. Martyrs seldom leave anything behind them but their ashes.
Better a useless martyr than a cowardly deserter.
I trust you slept well?
Is it morning?
Yes. And Lord Palmerston is expecting your report.
Oh.
Is that it?
Yes.
All done?
It is finished. Let it go.
I trust you found Miss Nightingale's report of use, Your Lordship.
Extraordinary. Most valuable.
So you will present it to the Commission?
Florence, one must consider the public mood.
Exactly. The nation wants to move on. And let us not forget, our Queen, nay, the whole of Her Majesty's government, are dedicated to reform. But for reform, we must look to the future.
And not fight old battles, Florence.
Well put, Sidney.
If I were to publish my own report?
Ah, but there is that confidentiality clause. Besides, the public would not stand for the loss of one of their greatest heroines. It would set back the cause for those very reforms you and our gracious Queen so earnestly desire. You do look tired, Florence. So much work. It drains the system. After 2 years fretting about the health of our army, isn't it time you took care of your own?
What we need is a miracle down here right now. Then God sent his angel to succour the brave. 10,000 she saved from an untimely grave. The wounded they love her as it can be seen. She's the soldiers' preserver, they call her their queen.
Hello, Queenie.
What we got was a miracle, a good human miracle. We got that lady when all else did fail, who made us...
What's going on?
Not to worry, ladies and gentlemen. Now, she will be fine. Look, there's attendants round her now. No, stay where you are. She will be all right. She's faced worse things than this now. She'll be all right. Now, please, keep your seats. Keep your seats and stay there. Look, she's coming round already. Look.
Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be slaves. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be slaves. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be slaves.
That is heartening news, Prime Minister.
Yes, Mom. Thank you.
And when does this commission of ours expect to start hearing evidence?
Next week, I believe.
And will Miss Nightingale appear before it?
Ah, no. It was decided to submit her evidence in writing through me.
I see. And how is the dear girl?
Somewhat indisposed, Ma'am, after her Herculean efforts. I believe she's taking the waters in Malvern Spa.
And tell her we wish her a speedy recovery.
I'll convey that sentiment to her father when I see him next.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me, please. Excuse me.
Not to be disturbed,
Where's my daughter?
especially by her family.
I have to see my daughter. I've been told she hasn't eaten for a week.
Well, we can't exactly force her to eat.
You didn't even call a doctor.
I'm sure she's fine, sir. Mr. Nightingale!
Florence!
Florence!
Flo? I'm aware that we need to talk. We haven't always done that, have we? I'm also aware that there have been times in my life when I've been too distant. Too much in my books, my thoughts. But you know I always loved you. Don't you?
Yes. Papa. Yes, I do.
And yet, in a way, I feel I was always a little afraid of you.
You. Of me.
Well, you are so independent, so headstrong.
Well, I had to be, didn't I?